Madam Clerk, has the warrant been properly posted as required by the general laws of the town of Granby? Please rise as Select Board Chairman Mr. Bale leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please note that if you are a non-voter or a non-resident of Granby, you must sit in the designated area in the back of the gym. If you'd like to comment or discuss an article as moved, please raise your hand so that I can recognize you. Wait for the microphone to come to you. State your name and address. All questions and discussions must be directed towards me, and I will direct your question to the appropriate individual. Please do not direct any comments or discussion to a particular member at town meeting. The moderator will now recognize Lou Berry to present the motion under Article 1.
Good evening. I move the town vote to conduct the business of the meeting as follows. On May 11, 2015, consider Articles 2 through 12, and on June 15, 2015, consider Articles 13 through 34.
Second. Is there any discussion? This calls for a majority vote to pass. So all those in favor of the motion under Article 1, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Berry will now present the motion under Article 2.
I move the town vote to hear the reports of town officers and all standing and special committees and act thereon.
Second. Is there any discussion? I would like to note that the Finance Committee will speak and is deferring until June 15th to give their report. Also, the Select Board will wait to June 15th. All right, this calls for a majority vote to pass. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 2 passes unanimously. I now call on Lou Berry to present the motion under Article 3.
I move the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to conduct the listed activities as printed in the warrant for fiscal 2016.
Second. Is there any discussion? All right, so this motion needs a majority to pass. So all those in favor of the motion under Article 3, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 3 passes unanimously. We will now present Article 4.
Move the town vote to authorize the various departments to receive compensation for services rendered as printed in the warrant for fiscal year 2016.
Second. Any discussion? The microphone's coming.
Rich Demaraki, Bachelor Street. I just had a question on 4A. The cemetery commissioners will be paid at a rate no less than the minimum wage. Now that is so vague. I mean, what does the cemetery commissioners get paid? What's the dollar amount per hour? According to this, they could be paid anything above the minimum wage. That just doesn't make sense. Can someone answer that? And why isn't a specific dollar amount in here?
Just a minute.
I'm not sure why the amount isn't listed, except that perhaps the personnel bylaw might change that effect. But the rate right now, it's a, by the personnel bylaw, is a grade 3, and starting is $14.32.
Another question?
Just for next year, could you have that amount put in here? I mean, this was the exact same wording from last year. It would be helpful to know what they get paid.
So noted.
Traditionally, apparently, that's been the wording that they've used.
Traditionally, that is the wording that we've used every year, but we've noted your concern. Any further discussion? The motion under Article 4 requires a majority to pass. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. The moderator will now call on Ms. McDowell to present the motion under Article 5.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to authorize the Conservation Commission to charge a fee of $65 for each site inspection deemed necessary by a quorum of the Commission. Fees shall be payable to the Town of Granby Conservation Commission and deposited in the Conservation Hatch Fund.
Second. Is there any discussion? Thank you. Right here. The microphone's coming to you.
George Randall, Taylor Street. My question would be, is the fee that's charged as a flat fee, or is that per person?
That is a flat fee. Per inspection. Okay. Any other discussion? The motion under Article 5 requires a majority to pass. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. The moderator calls on Mary McDowell to present the motion under Article 6.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to accept the following gifts in calendar year 2014 for the perpetual care of cemetery lots. Darlene and Guy George in the amount of $565. Mary J. Marcel in the amount of $565. Thomas R. and Maureen Kuchar in the amount of $565. Daniel and Cynthia Strain in the amount of $10. Elizabeth and Daniel Blaney in the amount of $565. Sam and Lisa LaRiviere in the amount of $565. Florence and Leroy Fredette in the amount of $35. Colleen T. Hennessy in the amount of $50. Francis J. and Betty Jane Quinlan in the amount of $2,335. Hannelore S. Parks in the amount of $2,335. And Daniel and Deborah Talbert in the amount of $565.
Thank you. Second. Is there any discussion? This requires a majority to pass. All those in favor of the motion under Article 6, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 6 passes unanimously. The moderator now calls on Mary McDowell to present the motion under Article 7.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to authorize the following revolving funds in accordance with MGL Chapter 44, Section 53.5E.5, as printed in the warrant, and to authorize expenditures from these funds for fiscal year 2016 without further appropriation.
Second. Is there any discussion? The motion under Article 7 requires a majority to pass. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 7 passes unanimously. The moderator now calls on Mark Bale to present the motion under Article 8.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to transfer the remaining balance in the Recreation Revolving Fund as of June 30th, 2015 to the Parks Oversight Revolving Fund.
Second. Is there any discussion?
I'll just explain it.
Okay, first we'll explain it, and then I'll come to you.
We consolidated the Recreation Commission and the Dufresne Ad Hoc Committee into the Parks Oversight Committee, and we're basically collecting all the money under the Parks Oversight Revolving Fund. Just so to kind of refresh people's memory, a revolving fund is typically supported by fees, and what you're doing is town meetings, you're basically, well, in this case, you're just transferring it, but in the next one, it's going to revolving fund. It's basic. It's fee generated, and you have to authorize how much we're going to spend.
No questions? Any further discussion? Over here, please.
Hi, Joe Rakowski, Maximilian Drive. Just two things. Who controls the funds, and what is the dollar amount that's being transferred to this new fund?
Not being transferred, we have bills outgoing and ingoing that haven't been paid yet, so I'm going to give you an estimate. It's between $3,000 and $4,000. We have a Parks Oversight Committee, and Brian Haaschild is on it, Bill Johnson, Megan Slozik. Megan Leonard is that her? Kim Myers, and Matt McCourt and Jim Petras are the people on there. Just as in terms of accounting and stuff like that, they don't cut their own checks. They have to go through the treasurer, and everything gets recorded there and dispersed there, and then recorded by the accountant.
Any further discussion? This requires a majority to pass, so all those in favor of the motion under Article 8, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 8 passes unanimously. The moderator calls on Mr. Bale to present the motion under Article 9.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to authorize town departments to enter into agreements in accordance with the MGL Chapter 40, Section 4A for fiscal year 2016.
Second. Is there any discussion or questions? All right.
Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 4A. This basically allows us to enter into intermunicipal agreements, memorandums of understanding with other towns. You just are authorizing that. If we didn't pass this, then we would actually have to go out to bid to work with other cities and towns. We'd have to see if we could do it privately, I guess. So.
Any questions or further discussion? This requires a majority to pass. All those in favor of the motion under Article 9, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 9 passes unanimously. The moderator will now call for a motion to recess the annual town meeting and call to order the special town meeting. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Can I have a second? All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. Any opposed? So now, quorum being present, the special town meeting will now come to order. Madam Clerk, has the warrant been properly posted pursuant to the laws of the town of Granby? So now the moderator will recognize Town Administrator Chris Martin.
The Select Board will not be offering any motion at this time. As a result of meetings held, the Board is of the opinion that additional public sessions are necessary to inform the public regarding the proposed sewer project. The Board will be placing this article on the special town meeting warrant that will be presented on June 15, 2015.
Since the motion is not being offered, I'm now going to call for a motion to dissolve the special town meeting and call back to order the annual town meeting. Can I have a second? All those in favor, please raise your card. Thank you. All those opposed? The special town meeting is now dissolved, and the annual town meeting will now resume with Article 10. The moderator will recognize Mr. Bale to present the motion under Article 10.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to accept the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 71, Section 37M, for the consolidation of administrative functions of the school committee with those of the town.
Second. Discussion?
For a few years now, we've been looking at trying to share services with the schools, and we were ready for it last year, and then we figured out that you actually have to accept this law at town meeting in order for that to happen. We have been meeting with representatives from the school committee and the superintendent to talk about a couple of different positions that we might combine. One of them would be combined to create a facilities manager. Another one might be a school business manager / accountant. Those things will be determined by discussions with the school and the select board. And I think part of this law also allows the school to withdraw from this agreement at any time. But we basically want the authorization so that we can work together and hopefully create some efficiencies and save some money.
Is there any further discussion? Questions? Right here. The microphone's coming, Mr. Randall. Thank you.
Thank you, George Randall, 52 Taylor. My only comment would be, Mark, can you just speak closer to that microphone? It's a lousy system, and people are having trouble understanding everything that's being said. Speak a little closer, please. Speak a little bit louder. Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? If you like. Sure. All right.
Good evening. Emery Ervin, representing the school committee. I just wanted to come here to say a couple of words about this motion. The school committee is in support of this motion. We think that this is going to allow us to explore opportunities to collaborate with the town. Also, this is going to give us some opportunity to more effectively and efficiently use our resources that are available to our collective bodies.
Thank you. Any further questions? Discussion? This motion must pass by a majority to pass. So all those in favor of the motion under Article 10, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 10 passes unanimously. The moderator will now call on Mr. Al Bale to present the motion under Article 11.
I move that the town vote to amend the bylaw of the Town of Granby, Volume 2, Chapter 19, Personnel Bylaw, Appendix C, Classification Plan, grade assignments by inserting skilled maintenance worker, grade 3.
Thank you. Can I have a second? Discussion? Right here.
Thank you. My question would be, is under the term firefighter EMT basic, I'm assuming that that is considering a basic firefighter and not a firefighter who's an EMT? I don't see anything that separates the two for somebody who's a fireman and is not an EMT. Am I correct in that assumption?
This has nothing to do with the fire department.
Oh, as I read it here, it does.
No, skilled. It says skilled,
Skilled maintenance worker, go up 2 lines, and it says firefighter EMT basic.
We're just talking about skill.
no, there's nothing here.
Unless I'm looking at something different. Oh, sweet Jesus, okay.
Mr. Randall, oh, okay. Is there any further questions? Right here behind, Mr. Randall.
Joe Fernie, 154 Taylor Street. There's a movement in the country to make the minimum wage $15 an hour, and it doesn't seem that we're that far, but have we considered evaluating, looking at the economic impact of making step 1 starting at 15?
I didn't quite understand what he meant. I'm having trouble hearing it.
The minimum wage is being moved to $15, so maybe step 1 should be increased to $15. So noted.
Yeah. Hopefully, eventually, they're going to change them all. Right now, this person is at the maximum, so he's not going to be affected by step 1. But you're right, the step 1 would be below the $15 that is being suggested for people who are starting work at fast food places with no skills. Just to say, this requires a lot more skills.
Any further questions? The motion under this article requires a majority to pass, so all those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. The moderator now calls on Mr. Bale to present the motion under Article 12.
Article 12, I move the town vote to amend the bylaws of the town of Granby, Volume 2, Chapter 19, Personnel Bylaws, Appendix D, Compensation Plan, Pay Schedules, and substituting a new Appendix D showing the 12 pay grades and 10 steps to be effective July 1st, 2015.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion?
All those in favor, bang it.
This motion requires a majority to pass. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion under Article 12 passes unanimously. The moderator will now call for a motion to adjourn the annual town meeting and reconvene it on June 15, 2015. Can I have a second? All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. The annual town meeting is now adjourned.